What's up, guys? This is Will, and this is the first ever episode of the Music City Disc Golf Podcast. Thanks for tuning in. We hope you enjoy the show.
Let the bass kick.
And what up, guys? Welcome to the Music City Disc Golf Podcast. I am Will McCaskill, and joining me here today is the great and powerful ALPO, or for those who are not in the know, Alan Posey, the president of MCDG. Yeah. What up, Alan?
53489 PDGA 90. You don't need my phone number, do you?
Dang, dude, did I flubbed that. I totally should have said my PDGA number.
That's okay,
too.
You know.
Now I'm late. I'm 61881, if anybody's wondering. Anyway, this is our first episode of the MCDG Podcast. We hope you guys enjoy the show. We're going to try and run through some recent events and do a quick recap, give you some information on what's upcoming. We have a feature topic. We'll be talking about that. And we've also collected a bunch of questions from club members, and we're going to do our best to address all of those that are worth addressing.
Yep. I'm excited. We've been talking about doing a podcast a little over a year and a half or two, and finally Will has said I've had enough, and he showed up at my house this morning with a microphone. This is our 7th take, so I hope this one goes pretty good. But yeah, I'm really excited. It's a good way to get news information out, and really just sit down and have a chat with the people who care about what Music City Disc Golf and Nashville Disc Golf is all about. So I'm stoked.
Yeah, this is going to be awesome. And, you know, podcasts are fun, and this will be a good place for you guys to stay fresh and up to date on everything that's going on. You'll be able to get it through the website. And once we have a few episodes working, then that'll be available on iTunes and Google Play and elsewhere.
Yeah.
So, anybody far and wide that wants to know what we're doing in Nashville, because we're awesome, you'll have an easy way to do that. So, let's get right into it, dude.
Let's.
I'm going to go ahead and give everybody a quick rundown of some of the really cool weeklies that we have every day of the week here in Nashville. I'm just going to start at Saturday. I don't really care where your calendar starts, but Saturday, one of our really popular weeklies is Saturday at Shelby, and that is run by K-Man, James Kuykendall. It is a singles format. Music City disc golf tags are on the line. Sign-ups usually begin around 9 and tee off is 9:30 to 10. Would you say, Alan?
It's actually, they start sign up at 9:15 and ready to roll as soon as everyone signs up around 9:30, and then after whenever JB gets there, we know no one else will be there.
Right.
And then they cut off.
Shout out to Johnny Blaze.
Just a little rumor I heard that maybe Saturday at Shelby might be flexing its muscles here in the future. Might be traveling, doing a little bit of touring the other courses in the Nashville area. I don't know. It's not my news to drop.
I mean, I may be able to substantiate that rumor a little bit, but we can talk about that later.
K-Man does great things. He's turned he's turned out, a great amount of players, and I think, I play this all the time, but I wouldn't go to Shelby to play if it wasn't for the K-Man's weekly. It's run well. You got good prizes. You get in, you get out on time, and he's made that course really fun. So K-Man does great things. I always have support for whatever he does with that.
Absolutely, K-Man is the homie, and it's a really accessible event too. Pros I think it's a $10 entry. AMs get in with a new disc, and then AMs get paid out in those discs. And it always has a $555 ace pot. K-Man's got it capped, and he's got backups. So go check out Saturday at Shelby and stay tuned for further updates on what we might be doing with that. Also on Saturday, there is doubles at Seven Oaks, and that starts at 1:30, tee off around 2 o'clock. The last Saturday of every month, they do a Clint handicap format. where everybody just gets an extra shot per hole.
Yeah, I don't think it's a handicap. You just get one free shot per hole.
Well, I mean, the Clint is the handicap.
That's true.
But John Williams runs that. But normally when it's singles, MCDG tags. Oh, wait, no, that's doubles. I put that wrong. Okay, yeah, so it's doubles most of the time, and then everybody plays Clint on the last Saturday of the month.
Yep.
Ace Pot currently, as of 2 days ago, was at $50 for that.
Woo, big money.
Big
Someone
money,
must have
big
hit it.
money.
Oh, yeah, JB did. Second shout out for JB.
Yeah.
I was there for that shot. Got it on the second one. John, without an H, is he's kind of new to running events, but he's taken over after Kearns quit running Clint because no one could seem to get along and accept his rules. John has picked up where Kearns left off, so you can always hit up Seven Oaks on Saturday around 1:32 and get a really fun round in.
Yeah. And you have options for Saturday because after Saturday at Shelby, you have plenty of time to either make the Seven Oaks doubles or the Ogwood Saturday singles, which is at our favorite private course, Ogwood, out just outside of Springfield, Tennessee. The homie Snipe Burns runs that one. Sign-ups usually begin around 1:30, tee off around 2:15, but we always do try to wait for anybody that might be trying to make the trip up from Shelby. Ogwood tags are on the line, and you can play for other tags with your card. The Ace Pot right now recently got hit by Snipe Burns. Currently it's at 100, maybe a little bit more than 100, but I'll keep you updated on that. Moving into Sunday.
Oh, I was gonna say.
Oh, yeah.
I was just gonna add that it's a good thing that Ogwood is kind of far away because if it was closer, I would go there and play that every Saturday, and I would never make it back home. So I always do show up there and have a hard time leaving. So just be warned, it's a lot of fun out there if you head out that way.
Yeah, Ogwood is great. It's a very special place for those that do not know. At your very earliest convenience, make a trip out to Ogwood. It's always open. So then on Sunday, we do singles at 9 o'clock with Q-Tip. Joseph Q-Tip Berry runs that. Music City Disc Golf tags are on the line. Sign-up start at 9, tee off around 9:30. Some information that is new to me after talking to Tip and Dave Griffin. Apparently, they are combining the Ace Pots for Tuesday night doubles at Seven Oaks with the Sunday singles at Seven Oaks.
Yeah, those two events, Sunday singles and doubles, I've been running every week for almost 30 years.
Yeah.
They've had the same Ace Pot. But the Q-Tip took over on Sunday for Michael McDaniel, who used to run what was called the Sunday Handicap. Q-Tip just runs it as singles. It's kind of like a mini bag tag. You go in there, he's got the scoreboard and everything, and another great one. I mean, all our weeklies are awesome. All
the weeklies are awesome. But yeah, a big crowd usually turns up for everything at Seven Oaks. So yeah, moving on, there is a round on Sundays at Ogwood that Snipe also runs. It's kind of a revolving format. It depends on if the Saturday singles was canceled for another event, or just who shows up and how many people they got and what they want to do. You could end up playing doubles, you could end up playing wolf, you could end up playing for tags, but they do have a separate Ace Pot for Sunday at Ogwood, and it is capped at $420, and there will be backups. And then
that's because that's my birthday.
Absolutely.
420.
Yeah, it's because Alan is
$420.
ALPO is the greatest.
Yeah.
So Sunday, all weekend, you can go out and catch some fun at Ogwood. Moving into Monday, we do have Sanders Ferry doubles. Bruce Slayton normally runs that at about 5 o'clock. That only runs during daylight savings time. Tuesday, we have Seven Oaks doubles that our buddy Griff runs and has been running for a long, long time. I believe that's a $12 all-in entry. Sign-up start at 5, tee off around 5:30-ish. Always a good time. That one draws a crowd. Then also on Tuesday, there are Triple Creek doubles. Doubles at Triple Creek Park in Gallatin. Cason Newton runs that one at 5 o'clock. That also only runs during daylight savings time. So anybody up on the northeast side, that's one to hit because it's a fun course. And Kaysen and DJ Wicks and some others do a lot of good work out there. And then, of course, Wednesday, our favorite, the WNT, the Wednesday night Tag Extravaganza.
Tag Extravaganza.
Tag Extravaganza.
And who came up with that name?
I don't remember. Was it Melee or you?
It wasn't me.
I think it was Melee.
Melee.
Yeah. And it's very clever. But that one, we've been getting about 25, 30 people every week. We run that one all year long. So in the winter, it becomes a glow round. We might actually switch that up this year because word on the street is that we are getting a putting league at Little Harpeth Brewing this winter.
That's fantastic.
It's great news. And there will be more information to come on that. I believe our financial advisor extraordinaire, Andrew Maley, will be making contact with Devin Pena at LHB sometime this week.
Sweet.
So
that's a pretty cool note here. It says a $602 ace pot as of yesterday.
As of yesterday.
So
it's getting up there.
Yeah, as the ace pot being $600, we should see a lot more people out there. Like, I'm going to be there next week for sure. Now that I see that, I'm
definitely
going to take a day off. But.
And we've been trying to get somebody to hit it, man. We played a 3-disc challenge last night. And so each player could only have 3 discs on their person. And we played 1 through 18, shortest pin available, and nobody still hit it, man. And so we added about another $50 to it. So, yeah, come on out and get some money, man. It's there to be made.
Yeah, or you can go to Cedar Hill Doubles, which is also the same day.
Yeah, Cedar Hill Doubles is cool.
Yeah.
Billy Fowler runs that.
Not to take away from their event.
No, not at all.
Both
Cedar
live successfully, and they have for a long time.
I think Cedar Hill Doubles was around before we started the WNT.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, WNT 5 to 5:30 signups. Tee off at 5:30. Tags are on the line. $8 all in. Cedar Hill Doubles, I'm not sure what the buy-in is, but they get a big crowd out there too. All the Cedar Hill locals are really cool guys and fun.
One day we should all team up and
go play doubles. I say
Cedar Hill Tag Extravaganza.
Yeah, Cedar Hill Dub Extravaganza.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Let's work on that.
Yeah.
I know Matt Schaff is probably clicking his heels and leaping for joy at the sound of that news because he always tries to poach me and others from WNT.
Well, I remember distinctly when it was like, hey, we're going to do a new event at Seven Oaks. It'd be on Wednesday. And I'm like, well, there's already enough stuff at Seven Oaks. But then it was like, well, yeah, but there are no singles rounds.
No tag rounds,
at the time there really wasn't. So it does feel a good need for people to go and play a good tag round during the week where it's just you and your tag and there's no handicaps or anything like that. So and it's a great stepping stone too for people that are newer to the sport, and they can come out and meet some of the people that are involved in the club and get plugged in. And it served a good purpose. So
you can play without a tag. It's only $1 to play. You don't have to get in on any of the side action. Anyway, enough plugging. It's a good one though.
I see the next one we have Thursday.
Yes, moving right on to Thursday, White House Doubles. Guys, if you haven't played White House or haven't played it in the last year, you owe it to yourself to go check it out. Lance Kirby and company, Chris Rucker, Jody Franklin, many others have done incredible stuff with that course, and it's one of our highlight courses now. And that weekly draws at least 30 people every time. And sign-ups start at 5, tee off around 5:30. And as far as I know, Lance is only running that during daylight savings. But the ace pot is at 350. He has it capped, and he has backups, so you can always go out there and get yourself.
I have yet to make a White House doubles, and it's driving me crazy.
I've been making a few of them, man. I actually want, because he does CTPs out there too, I want a cash CTP on one hole. I think I got like $28 or something, which much more than the entry.
If you're listening out there, Lance Kirby and all the White House crew, I've really been trying to make it out there. I know you guys always wonder, like, dang, Alan didn't make it again this week. But, yeah. I'm trying. If I can just get out there, it'd be great.
Yeah, and every time I'm out there, I see Jared Coupadura. Bunch of guys. Rick Casey.
Got to get out there.
Jody Franklin. The squad.
Yeah.
So, and then Friday, big shout out to Zach Evans, if you're listening. Zach Evans. Big golf clap for Zach. Zach Evans has really taken a lot of initiative recently and is looking to put a lot of energy and time and love into Two Rivers, which gets neglected sometimes, but he's got a lot of plans, and I went out on a walkthrough with him and Sean Sinclair from the PDGA, and Dave Griffin joined us and walked through some of Zach's ideas for a potential redesign of the layout. And it's going to be, everything that he has come up with, it's going to make it safer and more playable. And of course, he had the insight of Sean Sinclair there to kind of tweak what he may have missed. So good things coming to Two Rivers.
Yeah, it really does. It's been a hot topic for a long, long time, since as long as I've been around disc golf. I feel like people have been wondering, like, what can we do about Two Rivers? And some people say nothing. It's just fine. But change is in order. It looks like, and it's time. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and as a part of that, Zach has started running singles at Two Rivers every Friday. This one is sign-ups start at about 5:30, 5:45, tee off around 6. Music City disc golf tags are on the line, and then the last Friday of every month, they do bring your own partner doubles. So right now, the ace pot out there is at $66 as of 2 days ago. So, yeah. So that's the weeklies, guys. Anything else I missed, do you think, Alan?
No, not that I know of. I know we have, there's even more. If you include MTDGA and you include Shelbyville and all those, there's a ton.
Yeah, there's a bunch more.
I know there's Sharp Springs on Monday, which is temporary using Cane Ridge.
Barfield is Tuesday.
Barfield is on
Wednesday?
Tuesday?
I think it's Tuesday.
I think it's Thursday.
Yeah, we can look.
Actually.
It's on the Nashville Disc Golfers page.
Yeah. But yeah, I know most of the people that are probably listeners already know like where you could go and find them. But one thing that we thought would be really cool is if you were able to know how much the ace pot was at each one. So we might do reoccurring ace pot updates so you can schedule your time accordingly. And then of course, if you do hit an ace, we want to let you know that we are jealous of you, but we want you to get your dues.
Well, and this is our first episode, so we're kind of coming up with things as we go right now. But my idea is to do an episode of this every week, even if it's a short episode and I'm by myself, just to give everybody the weekly recap. And I don't have a specific list of everybody that's hit aces at these weeklies on hand right now. But going forward, the TDs of these events will be checking in with me, and if somebody hits it, I'll make sure they tell me who, so we can give them a shout out on the air.
Yeah. Very cool.
Yeah, I think people will like that, because people are always asking what the ace pos is at all these. And
just to clarify, Barfield Dubs is on a Thursday.
Barfield doubles. Shout out to MTDGA, #Bridge the Gap. So let's do a minute talking about something pretty historically significant, in my opinion. We were just talking really positively about White House. Sean Groton and the Nashville Disc Golf Store just ran the first ever PDGA sanctioned event at White House DGC this past weekend, and that was the White House Huck Fest, driven by Innova, and it was a PDGA C tier, and there was quite a few really good golfers out there.
There was, yeah. That looked like a fun one. I hated to miss that. I know that I would have got probably like 8th or 9th in advance, so it's kind of like I didn't have to go play it, Yeah. I just kind of knew.
You just kept your stilettos at home.
Yeah. Well, and meanwhile, Joel, a.k.a.
Buckets,
was throwing plenty of stilettos, I heard. But yeah, there was a good turnout. They filled it up, and I guarantee you they could have got about 30 more in if they had somehow the ability to do it. And I will, spoiler alert, before you can check out the post-edited coverage, but DJ Wicks won the event with a smoking hot 10:28 rated second round there, and he pulled off the win by 1 stroke.
Yep. And beat out a couple solid golfers, Cody Castellina and Josh Hauke. Josh Hauke is a local favorite. We love that guy. And but Cody Castellina, man, out of left field, that is Jeff Castellina's son. The Castellinas recently joined us from Alabama. They are also sponsored by our sponsor, Eat Sleep Disc. Jeff is also a member of Team Dynamic Discs, and his kids are becoming really impressive golfers. So it was cool to see Cody compete that strongly in MPO. But in the FPO division, our girl, man, Elise Carfrey, showing out with 65 in the first round and then turning that completely around in round 2 with a 58, beating out Jessica Kukler and Shelly Greer. So congrats to Elise, man.
Very nice.
I don't know if that might be her first win in FPO.
Maybe PDGA wise.
Yeah.
I know that at 880 rating that second round is really good.
Yeah, that's better than my play.
Something to be proud of, yeah.
For sure. So good job, Elise. We love you. In the MP40 division, that used to be Masters, Pro Masters, Jeff Castellina, Team Dynamic Discs, shooting a 47 in round 1 and a 50 in round 2 for a combined score of 97 for the event, beating out Andy Ritter and James Blanchard. So another 2 good golfers to have on the list underneath you. Congratulations, Jeff. You want to do MP50?
Yeah, man. I mean, we're talking about winners, dude. We got Buckets, Todd
Buckets.
McKee, beating out Farm Fresh,
Egg Boy,
and the legend Steve Hardy. Hardy is at least 75 years old, but no one will play in his division, so he has to play in Pro Masters. And he still slays them.
Yeah.
Steve
I just
Hardy
saw a video of him and Mike
legend.
Mahalik eating ghost peppers at some bar. Like, Mahalik ate 3 ghost peppers, started freaking out after the first one, ate 2 more, and then Hardy was just quietly sitting behind him.
Yeah.
And he's just nibbling on his little ghost peppers. He's a beast.
Then you go down to, I mean, you know, if you played AM, okay, that's all the people that played cash.
Yeah, I just got the pro highlights.
You did great.
Yeah.
You did great.
Good for coming out. I'm sure you had a great time. Mm-hmm. Sean runs a tight ship, and the White House course is beautiful. So, yeah, I'm sure we'll see that one again next year.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone running tournaments in Nashville right now is kind of, you know, they start one and then say, you know, this isn't, I'm building something here. This needs to be an annual event. So I have no doubt that when this tournament was created, that the plan was to come back. You know, assuming they can. There's all kinds of variables, but you know, based on how popular it was, and actually, dude, you know, I was monitoring registration, and like it had more people interested in it at an earlier time frame than just about any other local C tier we've had. Like, I mean, like 2 weeks before, there was almost 60 people registered, and that like is really rare.
Yeah.
So the hype around White House is real, and it's all because the course is coming together, and it is a really fun place. You know, if you have a great course, people will love to come play it. So that's
big up to White House, man. You guys are doing a great job, killing the game.
Yeah, no doubt.
This weekend, and this is one of my favorites every year, and I'm bummed that I'm going to be out of town for it, but the Short Mountain Disc Jam is this weekend. Labor Day weekend, so everybody gets 3 days off of work. What better way to spend it than going out to the Short Mountain Distillery in Woodbury, Tennessee, and playing some golf on 2 really awesome, beautiful courses. And there's also a music festival attached to it, and free camping, and it's a heck of a good time.
Yes, and new this year, and finally answering the number one question that I've always had is, will there be Disc Jam whiskey available for purchase? and I'm proud to say that there is. They have their own Disc Jam whiskey with their own little custom little
the organic
label.
shine, and it has the frisbee thrower on the front of it.
Oh yeah, I'm calling it whiskey, but it's definitely moonshine, right?
Yeah, it's moonshine.
I mean,
It's
I know
straight
that.
up.
Trust me, I
stuff.
know the difference.
It's the White Lightning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One gets you drunker faster, and
Yeah.
that's moonshine.
Right.
And it's usually clear
Yeah.
and flavored.
Usually.
Yeah. And whiskey comes from Canada, the good stuff, right? I'm just kidding.
Well, that depends.
Yeah.
I mean, there are varying.
They
opinions on
got,
that.
but yeah. On that note, the players pack is decked out. They just announced that the other day on Facebook. Dude, I mean, it's a can't miss event for sure.
Yeah, for sure. So, all right, and then also coming up, we've got Event 8 in the 2018 Music City Disc Golf Bag Tag Series on September 8th. And that's going to be at Triple Creek Park in Gallatin. You do have to be a MCDG member to play that. And if you are not, you can purchase a tag for $20. But AMs will play in the morning. Sign-ups will be from 7:30 to 8:30. And it will be a 9 o'clock tee. $15 is the entry. For pros, it will be a $20 entry, and signups will begin at noon, and we will have a 1:30 tee. So the series points have been updated, and they're available at musiccitydiscgolf.com. Any thoughts on that?
Triple Creek is a great place to play a tournament. It is a haul. And people ask me every year, why are we going so far away? It's like, dude, it's worth it. Just trust me. You'll go. You'll have fun. And people do. They show up and they have fun. And then some people don't, and they stay at home and don't have fun.
Right.
So,
let everybody else have the fun.
Do what you want to do. It is as long as they're willing to, host us, I guess I would say. We'll continue to go there. I've watched for several years about when the bag tag comes out to a course, I can see like a buzz that gets created, and it brings people together a lot of times to kind of, it's as if you're making a big tournament. It's like coming to town, and so people rally, and you get some folks to show up and do some additional weed eating. So like we go there. It brings life out there on that surrounding that event, and it helps them kind of find their volunteers, and it improves the course in a little bit of a way. So as long as they're willing to have us, I think Triple Creek's something that we should always go back to.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, people ask us a lot why we go so far for some of our bag tag events, but that's the nitty gritty of it right there. Is we're trying to show some love for these courses and their crews, and keep them thriving, and help wherever we can. And so,
yeah, I think we go on tour.
Yeah.
Like we set our dates, and we show up, and our players get to play these tournaments, and it's like kind of like a like the same crew but in a different place. So I don't know. I'm excited about Triple Creek. I always do. The one thing about it that we never plan adequately for is pavilion coverage.
right.
we need to bring some of our own pop-up canopies, and so we don't have to use our little gazebo and one table. But
I think we did a better job.
Yeah, we get better at
pavilions. I mean, it's difficult because some of the parks that we play at aren't under Metro, so. The parks departments are totally different, and you have to make new contacts. And then also, even Metro doesn't allow you to reserve a pavilion until Memorial Day.
Right.
And it's first come, first serve prior to that.
And if you rent a pavilion and it ends at 3:00, make sure that you are done by 3:00.
Right. Yeah. We also learned that. I've been doing the all day thing from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Yep.
Yeah. Then moving right on from that, we do have E9 coming up at White House. That'll be on October 7th. all the same drill that I just repeated for E8 as far as entry and point standings and stuff. October 14th, we have the Cane Ridge Open coming up, and Jay Skinner will be the TD for that.
That's October 14th. That is a Sunday or a Saturday?
Right.
I think that's a Saturday.
Oh, that's a good question.
We have that thing finalized and ready to go. What we're working on before we post the registration and the big announcement is a couple things with the PDGA. One, it's a fundraiser event, and we still sanction it. So we have it set as an XC tier, which they don't give you an accurate drop down for that. So being that it's a little bit out of the norm, it set us back a couple of days or weeks depending on how you look at it. But everything is ready to go on that. That is a last effort to raise the rest of the money to finish the course. I know it's been playable for a while, but that's not the way most organizations and things happen. You build the course, you want it to have the tee pads and the signage and the baskets. Well, whenever we needed that course so bad and we wanted that so bad, we got baskets. And then we opened it. People just started playing it. People knew it was there and they kind of went. So we had that happen. Now on the short course, we still don't have tee pads there, but we're gonna get that going. So
Yeah, so that's what the Cane Ridge Open is all about, raising the last bit of money to finish that course, Baby Cane, as we lovingly refer to it.
It needs signage, it needs tee pads, blah, blah, blah.
Yep.
Jay Watson's the man in that, though. This is his vision. He came to the club asking about a way for us to help him finish, and honestly, we tried to squeeze in this tournament, a couple months prior, but the MCO just kind of engulfed us. So we kept it on the back burner, but we are ready. And I think fall is a great place for it to land. And I hope to see it, I don't think it's going to necessarily fill up because we'll have room for, 144 players minimum.
Yeah.
But I would like to see a good turnout out there. It's always a tough ask to say, hey, come, donate even more of your money to disc golf. But that's what we have to do to get it where it needs to be.
Well, it's not just a complete donation. We do offer a really good time in exchange for your money.
Yeah, well, you can still win a trophy.
Yeah,
and you might get a player's pack.
You might see a couple of your friends. Maybe you hit an ace. We're still going to pay out aces, I'm pretty sure.
True.
That's a Jay Skinner question. Maybe I'll have him on next week. And then, of course, Halloween at Ogwood is coming up right after that. That will be October 19th through the 21st this year. Free camping all weekend long. Show up Friday night, play the glow round. Then we'll have
the terror round.
The terror round is Saturday night.
Oh, I'm sorry, my bad. I wasn't listening.
Yeah, Friday night is the glow round, just a regular old glow round, $5 entry, and then Saturday we have the ALPO's Voodoo Doubles Championship.
We do have the Voodoo Doubles Saturday. Of course, Friday there's gonna be one more element to it this year. Friday, well, I mean, if you're a whole sponsor or you're into that part of it, I know a few of us are, me and Josh and probably you, will be doing some decoration and some obstacle building on Friday. So you'll have the chance to set up, the bulk of your holes, or hole, and decorate it. The goal is we want it to be a haunt. It's always been the plan. We show up and we, throw out some scary decorations here and there, and over the course of the property, the impact's been kind of it's there, you notice it, but I feel like this year we get people to focus energy on their specific hole and owning it, and they go out there and advance and kind of decorate it or build a crazy voodoo obstruction, then we're gonna have some seriously good times.
Yeah, absolutely. Voodoo Doubles is the best time that you'll ever have playing disc golf.
Yeah, Voodoo's gonna be fun. I don't even know the rules yet. I'm letting people submit ideas to me if they sponsor a hole, and so far the people that have submitted to me, their rule was approved. But I'm gonna block anything that's throw left-handed or anything that's not creative. Which it's not I'm not getting a lot of submissions anyways. There's 12 holes to go. I got other rules that can use or reuse. But the plan is, all those things are like supposed to be fun and crazy and well thought out, like tailored specifically towards the hole. I know we'll have some of the classic rules, like hole 1, where if you landed in the barn on your drive, it counts as a 0. You still have to make the putt, but that would be a 1.
Right.
You don't get paid for the ace. But there's all kinds of cool scoring things, split up, play different holes, and then there's so that's going to be really fun. It's 1 round. This year you're going to get a disc, commemorative disc for that. I just felt like since we needed to bump up the entry fee, last year it was a bargain. It was $20 for AMs, which was great, but it did like super mega overflow.
Right.
And so why not? You up it, you get a commemorative disc, and even for pros. So pros will get something, whatever. If they don't like it, don't play.
Yep.
But yeah, so we'll do that. Then there's the Crazy 8 or the Final 9. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna try, if we can get the volunteers to help run it, I'll try to get more teams in the playoffs. If not, then it'll just be top 2 for each division.
And that's fine.
And I mean, I got to get done with my decorations on the hole because I gotta get that settled, because I got this idea where like we take like some beat up discs and find a way to like mold like toy slinkies into it.
Right.
So like you have to throw the disc and like all the slinkies are like dragging behind it. Like maybe I don't know. I'm not sure how that will work, but I feel
like it.
I feel like
sounds intriguing.
Yeah, there has to be a hole where you throw the slinky disc.
I mean, if you guys have never played Voodoo Doubles, first of all, there's something wrong with you. But man, you have no idea the insanity, the high level of shenanigans that goes on at this event. I mean, Rodney Goad having to spin 5 times around a bat and then fall down while he was throwing each shot on one hole last year was
legendary,
spectacular.
It was like the beginning of the rule and the end of that rule,
right?
Because it was like, dude,
it's
you're gonna
a little bit of a safety hazard.
Yeah,
people are filming it. We're gonna watch somebody break their face, so.
which is also really funny. But
yeah,
you just kind of.
Thankfully, it didn't happen, and Rodney Goad has been free to injure himself in other ways.
He fell down and goes, "Hey now,
you are." So, yeah. Then Saturday after the Voodoo Doubles, we have the Bell Witch Bonfire, where we will burn a basket effigy made of materials of our choosing. And then immediately after that, we will break into the Terror Round. And I'm not going to spoil that.
I mean, yeah, by that time of night, I mean, who knows what it's going to look like.
You need to just be prepared for anything, really. I mean,
there's really no telling. I mean, it's like you can't even really advertise it properly because it could just change like on a whim.
Right. So then Sunday we had the Bell Witch Open, little C tier. All this stuff will fill up, guys. Registration is live on Disc Golf United. You can find the information on the Music City Disc Golf Facebook pages. There is a Facebook event page for Halloween at Ogwood, which is the all-encompassing title for all of these fun activities. And so get signed up. Don't get left in the cold.
Yeah, sign up. I mean, the Bell Witch Open, that was the Philip Dawson name. Mm-hmm. It used to be just like I
think the first year I did it, it was the Ogwood Apocalypse, and it was me and J Ray. Which J Ray will be with us as well. Also, our homies from Eat Sleep Disc, Chris Pierce and Jeff Van Meter, will be joining us once again.
So we got the Bell Witch. The name of the tournament is because there's a legend, a ghost story.
Right down the road.
Bell Witch. Yeah, I think you're talking maybe like 10 or 15 minutes.
I think 5-10 minutes. Adams is not far from Cedar Hill. Yeah.
Right from 5004 Aug Road. And I did a little research on that Bell Witch because I hadn't really heard of it, and then I saw there was a movie, and I just want to say, don't watch the movie, just like read the Wikipedia.
Are you talking about the Blair Witch Project, or are you talking? There was an actual Bell Witch movie.
Yeah.
Are you really?
Yeah.
When did it come out?
It's not too old. I mean, 2000s, but like it was. Yeah, just don't watch it.
Horrible.
It was just trash. Man. But yeah, definitely.
Does that mean we have to make another Bell Witch movie?
Yeah, we could.
I think that's next on our agenda.
Maybe about disc golf. But yeah, man, the bonfire last year was one of the man, I don't know. It was one of the coolest things.
We built a giant wooden basket on a pedestal, and then we light the whole thing on fire with a big giant Viking funeral pyre underneath it, and then we throw frisbees at it.
Yeah, it was a sight for sure. And I remember just in the moment, we made sure that like we told like a ghost story or the
right.
KT
Grant from Chattanooga. Shout out to KT. He actually had like a childhood story
about the Bell Witch.
About the Bell Witch. His family went to visit the Bell Witch cave, and he got deathly ill and almost died or something. And then when he was on his way to Ogwood for Halloween last year, as soon as he got within the county, he like started feeling sick, and he was deathly ill the whole weekend and for like another week after, which you and I
he
also got sick.
Will he be back?
Yes, obviously.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, KT's ride or die, bro.
I mean, yeah, that was pretty awesome.
Shout out to Nooga. We love
Great
our
memories.
Nooga family.
We had the best people from Chattanooga last year, and the best people from Memphis last year,
yep.
and like I don't know if we can
Memphis
recreate
Hearts
that
Ogwood
this year, but you know, every tournament always is different. But you know, step one, hope for good weather and all that good stuff. But yeah, dude, I can't say enough fun things about Ogwood Halloween. I actually dropping a bomb on you. I am petitioning with you now to change the name from Halloween at Ogwood to Ogween.
Ogween. I'm down.
But just shorten it. It looks better on a t-shirt. So
yeah, Halloween at Ogwood is a little wordy for sure.
I love it, and it can be its own thing because it is its own thing. But you know, what's in a name? I don't know. But I'm gonna start calling it Ogween.
I like Ogween or Ogween.
Just Ogween.
Ogween.
Yeah,
I'm down, dude.
Looks great on paper.
You know me. I'm loosey goosey. I fly by the seat of
come
my
on
pants.
down to Ogween 2008.
Everyone will be like, "What the heck is Ogween?"
Yeah. So like, man, yeah, I've said this 1,000 times, but like for anyone that's listening that doesn't like talk to me, like I will always be a part of Halloween at Ogwood. That's been my. There are old ancient messages.
That's our baby.
Of me messaging Music City Disc Golf's Facebook page, and I was like, "Hey man, you guys ever thought about running a Halloween tournament?" And you know, then I come to find out like you don't give someone your idea, you just have to do it. So, yep, Ogween, baby.
But for now, Halloween at Ogwood.
Sure, both. So, either are acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, either are acceptable.
Hashtag both.
We're starting to
trend.
trend.
I don't know how you do hashtags.
It'll be all right.
Hashtag both is probably already taken.
Boatsies?
I don't know.
Boatsies is probably open. That sounds, it's like hard to say.
Ogween McOgface.
I love it. I love it, dude. Augie McOgwooderson. All right. Anyway, yeah, that's...
we'll have another Halloween at Ogween podcast.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For
just
sure.
a whole thing dedicated.
We'll record on site.
Yeah,
we'll be there. And we'll do it. We'll go live.
Maybe we'll even try to find the Bell Witch.
Yeah, I mean,
if you guys want to hear that, all right. Sorry, I just
we got to wrap this up. We all right. So yeah, moving on. But yeah, so that's all our upcoming events, and so we'll get right into the next segment. All right, so we have collected a smorgasbord of questions from our devoted audience. On our first episode, we already have a devoted audience. That's because
our loyal followers.
Our loyal followers. So,
our curious audience.
Lead us in there, ALPO.
So I got a list of questions here that were taken from a user submitted thread on the Facebook.com website. The first question is from David August Stebbins, and it's only fitting because it is August, and his name is August. He asks, what is proper etiquette when letting a group play through or asking to play through? And David, I will say this, never let anyone play through.
Ever. That's an affront to your professionalism.
That's the first thing right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you're on the course, they're on the course. No, I'm just kidding.
Yell at them.
Man, that's a tough question, you know? I would say use common sense. If the people behind you are playing faster than you, then you make plans to let them pass. I found it very efficient to have already thrown my drives and wait for them so that way they're not catching me every time. So I just kind of have my drives out there and then say, hey, you guys go on through. And let them go. You know, I think that would be that usually goes over pretty well. I mean, don't not let someone play through that's playing faster than you, because then you're a jerk.
Right. And it goes the other way, too. I mean, if you are clearly, like if you're in a smaller group, or especially if you're solo, and you're approaching a group that's ahead of you at a very quick pace, be respectful and courteous to each other, just like you would expect somebody to do for you. Understand that the people in front of you are trying to play a good round, too. Try not to disturb them while they're in their backswing or something, but you can show up on a T-pad if there's people there, and most of the time, if their group is substantially larger than yours, they're going to offer to let you play through. I think most of us are pretty proactive.
And if you're in a group bigger than like a 4, so like a 5 or 6, and God forbid a 7 or an 8, like you should let pretty much anyone play.
You should be expecting.
And if you show up in an 8, in a group of 8, and you don't let people play through, then like hopefully you just have one disc and you're not really playing your lie, and you're hauling some ass anyway. So
right.
I hope that answers that question. I mean,
I think that's
I don't know if there's really a solid answer.
Nailed it.
But yeah, if anyone can answer it, it's me.
Yeah.
And Will.
That's why I'm Pinky and you're the brain.
Yep.
So, Jordan asks, how can I perfect my backhand roller? Well, Jordan, I can offer you some very expert advice. The first thing you need to do is spend a year doing it unintentionally. Where you just really crank on understable discs and they turn over and hit the ground. Because then, you don't have to do it that way, but that's how I learned, because I just got to see how they worked.
Yeah. Throw more, practice more.
Right.
Yeah, I would say, you shouldn't perfect your backhand roller until you perfected your backhand.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of like, which shot are you going to use more? I don't know.
There are more shots that should be staples in your game ahead of that. If you feel pretty comfortable with your backhand, your forehand, maybe even some overhand shots, then you can start really trying to work a roller into your bag. And you got to pay attention to disc selection too, because, do you want your backhand roller to finish left? Do you want your backhand roller to finish right, long, short? And then there's the forehand roller. So flick rollers are a thing too.
Yeah, they're just tricky.
And those, but you only need to pull those out every once in a while.
Here's what'll happen: you'll spend months perfecting your backhand roller. You're gonna need to use it in a tournament, and you're gonna slam that roller down, and it's gonna hit the first route it comes on, and you're gonna be like, "Why did I even bother?" Yeah. So like, my suggestion is just don't throw any rollers.
Yeah,
I'm rec rated, so don't take my suggestion.
Yeah, I very rarely throw a roller that I'm meant to throw. So.
Yep.
But
all right, next question is phrased as such from Kesley Sterner. Why is it so hard to get our T signs fixed or to get new T signs? And I see a R and a we in that question. So I don't know. Just start working on it, I guess.
To give a little background, it's something that we have been thinking about, and it's just there's a lot of moving parts to doing that and doing it right, because we are aware that the majority of our courses do need some new updated signage, and but we want it all to be as universal as possible and to look nice and be resistant to vandalism in the elements, and we also have to get the course crews on board.
Right. Yeah. So Nashville has course crews, course captains at almost every course, and they're in charge of maintenance and upkeep and moving baskets and adding basket placements. And if they were to raise enough money, purchasing T signs, obviously it's a no-brainer that the club can raise the money to do it, but then it becomes an issue of hardware, because do you want to use existing hardware or do you want to buy something new? What's going to be the most vandalism proof? I think you decide on that first, and then approach the courses and say, hey, here's what we can offer. We have this, and then the next step is gathering the full information that you need on the sign. Where are the mandos? What's not in play anymore? And that's a big thing. That's like you've got like 5 pin placements on a hole. 2 or 3 of them are no longer even in the ground. You don't need it on the sign anymore. And then conversely, you have you're making a sign, you spend a bunch of money on the sign, you get in the ground, and then a new pin placement is added, and all of a sudden your sign is out of date. And that's the scenario a lot of times. And so, like, to do it properly and to make that big of an investment, you need to be working. The graphic artist of the sign has to work diligently with the course crew, know the plans in the future, and include that stuff in those signs, and realize that, like, these signs are supposed to last 20 years. I mean, the ones that we've got at Two Rivers and Cedar Hill and Seven Oaks, I've got to be over 20 years old.
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
If you're going to spend
and where
all that
they
money,
are, even if they are accurate, they've been scratched up and spray painted and marked on, and so it's hard to read them anyway. But the long and the short of it is that this is why we're doing a podcast, so that people can ask these kind of questions, and we can point out the information that we might have on it that others aren't privy to.
Yeah, that's how the club views it. I know we've talked about it for years, that it would be great to have unification or unifying signs that all have, bear the same sort of resemblance to each other, maybe with a few difference of the course logos and all that. You retain the whole sponsors and all that. So, I mean, it's definitely a job that's out there waiting to get picked up, but it is not the quickest, fastest job. However, it's not difficult. It's just detail-oriented.
Right. And there's a lot of moving parts.
And that could be Music City Open or Music City Disc Golf's big project next year. We usually try to do something great for the courses, and I mean, that could be the thing that we finally do. So finally get it done next year, possibly. Who knows?
Yeah. But it's on our radar. We are working on it, and you will have access to the latest information on it when it becomes available. So
I got a couple questions from Tim. I don't have a last name here. Not sure. Tim
Schulte.
Tim Schulte. Oh, he asked. Yeah, he started ranting questions and firing off questions, and the answer simply was, Tim, join the board.
Yeah, dude. Way to go, Tim. You're asking the right questions.
Yeah, if these are your questions, like, you're going to have to step up and be a part of
and help us answer them.
So he asked, how was the response to the MCO this past year? Dude, it was great. I've been on the staff for the last 5 years, I think. Very loosely the first year, and then the last 4 pretty heavily. And, dude, the fewest complaints we've ever had was this year. And it was the biggest by far. So just to get that turn in the rearview mirror and see it from, like, just looking back, it was a home run. I can tell you that we had a couple unhappy people with the water situation, and I think that they're onto something. But dude, it's so weird that you plan and work for like hundreds and thousands of hours if you commit to this tournament, and then like you fall short because you didn't have water in a cooler. It's like, and you know how you get water in the cooler? You get more people volunteering, And in one instance, we had plenty of water, but it wasn't in the cooler because no one bothered to tell us we were out. Which, sure. What does that take then? Well, then it takes someone dedicated to going around and checking all the coolers. And when you're talking about Ravenwood, you have no transportation. You're walking around. I mean, it's 2 miles to get around there to check all those coolers.
We did pick up on that problem and learn from it and adapt pretty quick.
We learned that on
Michael Coyne really led the charge. Well, as far as I know, because his name and his phone number showed up on the coolers, and with a note to call him if it was empty.
We pretty much had anyone willing to go get water and ice. Get water and ice.
And we had Joey Horn and Moppy and them that showed up at the golf court, and they were running for us. William Rick, the sheep guy, the sketchy sheep guy, he... Man, that guy's a beast. He went and bought a bunch of water, and then he hoofed it out on Ravenwood by foot. Like...
Yeah, I mean, that was what you had to do. Yeah, I heard nothing but great feedback.
I mean, from the players, from the vendors, from the neighborhood at Ravenwood, all the spectators, yeah. They were really stoked about it, and it was awesome to see. We had a bunch of people just walk over from the residential area and follow cards.
Yeah.
And so, yes, the response was great. Metro, we definitely got on their radar in a big way with this. I know that they were sharing around some of the video coverage among the
Yeah, we
Parks and
put
Rec
together
board.
a little photo album and sent it to them, and I think, the goal of this, like the reason Ravenwood was added to MCO was, yeah, it's a great place to play disc golf, but it was more so to like wake Metro up again and say, because they've approved a course out there for us, and we want to get that in the ground sooner as opposed to later. And it's just a long process. I think that's a question coming up later, so we'll get to that if it's still on here. But
Right.
Tim also asked, with the growth of the sport and club in Nashville, what changes can we expect within our community and club? Will there be new leadership opportunities like a volunteer club or new weekly events that are tied specifically with the club? I can say that I don't think Will or I can answer that. I don't know. We are a volunteer club. There's an event committee. There's a volunteer page. We've done everything.
Let's touch on
we
that
can.
because I think when he's talking about a volunteer club, I think that's what he's asking about is the event committee.
Yeah.
People that aren't necessarily on the board of directors, but that work the events and volunteer their time to help us make everything better. And we do have that. There's a group page on Facebook for it. You can contact me, Tim. We talk pretty frequently. So let me know. Shoot me a message, and I'll get you plugged in on that. But
Yep.
Okay.
Will there be any new weekly events? I mean, what day are you going to do it on? I don't think so.
we have a situation on our hands that most, I would venture to say, clubs in the country just don't have, where we have a weekly, at least one at a course or one course or another every day of the week. So I don't think that the question is should there be more weeklies, and a lot of these weeklies have been running for a long time before there was a club or before the Music City Disc Golf Club existed. But, we do have some that we're really closely affiliated with. The WNT members of the board run that. And
yeah. Rather than new weekly events, how about someone step up and give the current weekly event TDs a break?
Yeah.
Dave Griffin's been running Tuesday doubles for like as long as I've been around, and then probably doubles. I mean, I don't know, 10 years.
Yeah.
Every Tuesday throughout the year.
Yep.
Even when 4 people show up. So
good time to shout out John Williams because he's stepped up
John
and taken a load off of the Oaks crew. It's so many parts in that question, but we're going to keep pressing on. Tim then asks, I skipped one. So Tim also asks, how has the growth of the sport in Nashville benefit us, and has it hurt us in any way as well? No. It hasn't hurt us. It's benefited us. Yeah, I mean, more people play. Well, and the reason that we do what we do and the way we do it is to give you guys more opportunities to enjoy the sport, to get you learning about it and more equipped to grow it on your own. A club, a disc golf club is a transitional kind of stepping stone type thing where the goal of it is to, one, create new disc golfers, 2, take beginner disc golfers or casual disc golfers, get them plugged into a club and playing club events, minis, weeklies, leagues, that kind of thing, and then turn them eventually into competitive disc golfers playing PDGA sanctioned events and so on and so forth, and to address any situations with the disc golf scene in the area that the club has jurisdiction in, and be a support staff to the courses, keep the courses thriving, keep good and populated events happening. So it's benefited us, but it's benefited us in that it makes it easier for us to bring the benefit to you guys, because this is your club. This club belongs.
Yeah, I used to have to say that all the time.
Yeah.
It's just your club. Yeah, I mean, disc golf's definitely growing, and however it's affecting us directly, I mean, it's really impossible to tell. I mean, we've grown as a club for sure, but not all clubs are growing, so. I don't know. It's just a different dynamic, depending on where you're at and where you're involved. So, yeah. I mean, the only downside to more people playing is that you fill up events and people can't play that want to, and that always is a crappy situation. So.
Yeah, and we are, especially with the club events, we're committed to making sure that club members can always play our events. That's kind of what led us to splitting pro and am tags this year. Was we had a really hard time getting 150 people on the field at any given course at the same time, when we were mangling the layout and murdering the flow of play. So, growing the club and making sure that club stuff is accessible to all members is definitely something that we are dedicated to.
Yep. All right, moving on. We have a rules question. Okay. I could not help myself. I tried not to answer as many as
I know
I
you've
could,
been biting at the bit for this one.
Well,
dude,
I mean, I had to answer it online because it just, drove me crazy. Okay, I am not a PDGA expert. I just play a lot of tournaments, and I run a few, but, so you gotta, know the rules. Anyways, so Ron says he was playing in the Huckfest on Sunday, and a player said it was legal to change his throwing position in an infinite backwards direction from the basket to throw his second shot. We all thought one had to be within a foot or so of one's lie, which that's incorrect, but yeah. The player chose to throw from his lie. Okay, so he ended up not going backwards, I guess. I'm not sure.
Right, that's what I'm taking away from
If
that.
he did go backwards, no, that's not a thing. If the answer would be if you throw out of bounds, say you throw into a lake instead of clearing the lake, and you could go back to get safe ground so you're not on the edge of a cliff about to fall in. And
you are technically allowed to go back along the line of play all the way back to the tee pad, but you are still taking your one-stroke penalty.
Yeah, it's absolutely still a penalty, and you can't take that infinite relief if
infinite is a really disorienting way to put it.
Yeah,
because it's not infinite. If you're out of bounds, you can take relief along the line of play back to the tee pad, or as far as the tee pad.
Right, and but the line of play is where your disc went OB into the basket. So a lot of times you don't get the option to move back because you want OB on the side of the hole.
Right.
So you just have to go out. You just can't But anyways, the true answer to that question is, Ron, that you have the PDGA manual available to look it up, which he did say in the post that he had it, and he pointed to the rule, and that's good. That's very good. So he's looking for some reassurance, and you definitely did the right thing. It's hard because all these tournaments, dude, I've not played a tournament where I haven't seen a blatant violation. Because it just happens. People just all of a sudden they're so mad they don't care enough anymore. But when you get in an argument or a debate that you didn't really want to find yourself in, unfortunately you have to know the rule. And if you don't know the rule or have access to the rule, you're not helping the other players on your card. In fact, you're hurting them. So if you're playing in a PDGA tournament, please make some sort of
and let me segue into something in relation to that. I say two things lead to the majority of rules violations. One is ignorance of the rules, and two is heightened emotions. People disregard the rules when they're angry or upset, or they've just had a really traumatic four-putt or something. But I highly encourage every disc golfer, if you play PDGA events and you intend to continue playing them and you intend to try to make yourself more competitive, become a rules official. Even if you don't intend on running a tournament or playing in you have to be a TD to play in a major.
Majors and NTs. You have
even if you don't want to do that, it's worth the $10 to take the test and become certified.
I would just go out on the opposite end of that, and I hate to disagree, but I took that. I've taken the test twice, and I think it's. I don't.
Well, the test is open book, and you can take it as many times as you want. But
it actually is confusing.
Yeah, but you need to familiarize yourself with the rule book,
because they try to write the rules in a way that you can still interpret it, so you're not backed in a corner to do something. But yeah, it's it's a living, breathing document that gets changed and update, and even as many tournaments as we run, I still have been wrong about a couple of things. So you have to go back to it. I have to go back to it all the time.
Yeah. But, you can access it on your phone. You can go to the PDGA website. You can request copies of the book. I think they're charging a very small fee for the shipping or the processing of them or something now, where they used to be free, but they're not free to make. So just put yourself in the know. The only person that can educate you is yourself. So
that's true. Read a book.
Read a book for once in your life.
So Ron, good job on calling out the rule for that. So
good job,
I hope
Rob.
that he actually ended up playing it correct and it didn't ruin your round.
Yeah.
All right, so we got another question here. This is from Ben. Is there going to be a course or courses at the new Mills Ridge Park? Can the club run multiple A tiers or host an NT?
So two questions.
Yes. Okay.
Let's do the first one first.
The first one's simple. I don't know. And
Mills Ridge Park is not on my radar.
I saw that they bought it, but
Metro bought it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Then yes, it's an option.
Ravenwood is our top dog.
We are focused on Ravenwood.
And Metro is it just takes a lot of work, a lot of legwork. And anyone could go out and contact Metro and start the initiative to get the course approved, just like Cane Ridge. Cane Ridge was put in the ground because one person decided he was tired of driving too far and he wanted to golf at Cane Ridge. So he relentlessly pursued that course and got it approved, and then he got funding. I mean, it was just that's how it got done. And I think that's how Nashville Metro is always going to work. They're not going to give you any money, and they're not going to tell. They did budget for 2 new courses, but
that doesn't mean a whole lot.
Yeah, they've budgeted a bunch of other stuff, and
I think one of the bargaining chips that you can use with parks departments is that hey, disc golf, we can raise some money and we can do some work and we can take a lot of this off your hands. We just are looking for an in.
Yep.
But
hey, hopefully, man, we'll
the main bullet point
we will get involved in that.
And
try to get the ball rolling. I mean, that's there's nothing that a club can do better than putting in a course.
Courses.
Always been the goal.
Was it Gandhi or Mother Teresa that said, "Be the change you wish to see"? Either way, that's the main bullet point of the presentation. Is the first thing that I would advise anybody to do, if there's something that you want to see in your disc golf community or your disc golf scene, try to take a little bit of ownership of it. Find out who you need to talk to, and do what you're doing now. Ask questions. But it involves a lot of showing up to meetings and making contacts and talking to people to make sure that the plan is legit.
Yeah, there's many layers and facets, and that was Gandhi, by the way.
Gandhi, good. I thought it was.
Second part, can the club run multiple A tiers or host an NT? Yes, absolutely.
We can do whatever we want.
To get an NT, you have to win a bid. And to win a bid, you have to have a course that is deemed kind of worthy of that gold level player. I think we could probably pull something like that off at Ravenwood.
Yeah. There are changing trends in the Pro Tour circuit right now. Not the Disc Golf Pro Tour, but among the touring pros. So there's a lot of shifting going on right now to try to better both challenge and accommodate the touring pros, because it's not an easy life they live. But as far as an NT goes, that's something we're pushing for. We would love to see the Music City Open become an NT or a Pro Tour event, perhaps. One good benefit that we have is we've got Sean Sinclair with the PDGA in our backyard, and so we have his input, his insight, and that connection is invaluable. And he's just a good dude. So yes, all that is in the future, and we can run as many A tiers as we want. But when we're running 20 events all year, we really only have the manpower and the resources for one A tier if we're going to make it what it needs to be and do it right.
And they require a ton of fundraising.
We planned the Music City Open this year since November or December of last year.
Yeah, it specifically started almost the second we finished with the election results.
So while we're running our bag tag series and the 4 C tiers that we run.
It's like Music City Open is its own beast that requires arbitrary amount of work hours. I'll say 10,000.
Yeah, we all just about killed ourselves.
So if it's 10,000 hours, then everything else that the club does throughout the course of the year is also 10,000 hours. So they're equal beasts, right?
It's just as hard to pull off the MCO as it is to pull off a whole season.
Yeah.
Well,
and that's because we added Ravenwood and doubled it. You could probably run a easier A tier, but what would be the point?
Right. If you're going to have A tier sanctioning, you want it to be a big show. Yeah. You want to do it right.
The greatest thing I overheard at MCO was I shouldn't throw someone else under the bus. Okay, it was the Central Coast Corey, Johnny Football.
Mm-hmm.
He was
Corey Merle.
Yeah, he was
big
like,
up Corey.
He was talking to someone else about like how cool it was that they were at Ravenwood and A tier, and like they're talking about other pros and stuff, and they're like, yeah, we went and played this other tournament, and now we're here, and like, dude, they're both A tiers. Like, isn't that crazy? And what he was saying was that we had far and away surpassed his expectations of a traditional A tier, and that is simply because, well, that was the plan. I mean, we want to run it like it's big so that it's ready to be big. And I think we could get another. We could do another bid for Disc Golf Pro Tour. We could try to get the NT. There's a lot. There's a lot involved. And I honestly thought 2019 would be the year MCO popped off, but 2018 it happened 1 year early. So maybe we can fast track into an NT. But we would never ever tackle a second A tier. There's just no way.
Yeah, it's just, I mean, we have a 7-member board. We have great volunteers. The members of the Music City Disc Golf Club really showed out this year for MCO, and we would not have been able to pull it off without you guys. And you're truly special human beings, and I love every one of you. But, man, it was just about everything we could do to make that work and make it a success.
It's tough. It's really funny because you...
now we got to figure out how to do it better next year.
Yeah. Yeah. Bigger and better.
And we took notes.
Constantly move forward.
But yeah. So moving on.
Moving on, we got a question from Christopher. How can I get about 20 more feet of distance on my drives?
Practice.
I was just going to say play downhill holes.
Yeah, that's another easy way.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're looking for the instant gratification.
If you're throwing downhill, it's easier to throw far. Just match the slope of your disc with the angle of the downhill and unload, and you'll see your disc fly further than ever before.
And I believe that's Christopher Dunnels. So, Chris, I would recommend checking out some of the higher quality videos that are available now. The Hand-Eye Supply and Dynamic Discs with Danny Lindahl, they just are releasing their Physics of Flight series. And all of Danny Lindahl's videos are good, and slow is smooth and smooth is far, and yada, yada, yada. But check that stuff out. But nothing replaces time in the field, which is why I have an 850 something rating, is because I don't have time to play golf or do field work. So
yeah, it is all about form. Everything distance related is form and elevation.
You can be as strong as the mountain from Game of Thrones, or just throw really, really hard, but if your mechanics are off, you're still not going to be achieving the distance that you're looking for.
Yep. We got a question from Trent that says, what courses are must play in the area? The answer is all of them.
Yep.
I would say that
all of our courses fit a different niche or need.
Yeah, we don't have one that's like gonna blow you away more than the others.
Except Ogwood.
Well, I mean, again, I love Ogwood as much as anybody, but would you also recommend not playing Cedar Hill?
No.
Would you not play Cane Ridge?
I would say play Ogwood and Cedar Hill, and then White House in one day.
Oaks, White House, all of them. I mean, the two that don't make the list are Two Rivers and Shelby.
And I still like playing Two Rivers if it's not on a weekend and there's not birthday parties and family reunions.
Yeah, you got to go there. You got to play Nashboro too. I mean, say what you want about Nashboro, but it's
the chain links at Nashboro Village.
Where are you going to get a golf cart and cold beer?
Club championship, but throughout the year. Yeah, Nashboro's got it.
That's true. We do have a club championship. But, I don't know, man. Really, it's good, though. It's good that we don't have one, definitive must-play course.
I mean, the short answer is Seven Oaks is the most popular course. But I think Seven Oaks, Cedar Hill, Cane Ridge, those are the top three for me, must-play if you're in the Nashville area.
And if you can travel, hit up Ogwood.
Yeah, and Ogwood is about a 45-minute drive northwest of town.
If you can travel, hit up White House. But yeah,
and White House is great too, and it's not as far. It's 20 minutes north, I think.
I'm standing by my initial sarcastic answer.
All of them. Play them all.
Actually, not that sarcastic.
Make 5 trips.
We are
play
blessed
them all.
in Nashville with several great courses.
Dude, I mean, if you stand downtown, there's 50 courses within an hour's drive in any direction. So move here. I mean,
Yeah.
don't do that. There are way too many people already moving here, but we closed.
So we got a question from Steven, who's looking for information or advice about getting a high school disc golf club or team started. Steven, that is a thing, actually. Ken Folger, I know, teaches disc golf. If you want to do it in high school, go for it. They'll probably listen to you. But it just takes initiative to get in there and let people know, hey, this is disc golf, and it's very cheap, which is great, why I know students should be doing it. And you get to field trip, probably.
I would say line up some resources. I know the PDGA, and I don't know if they're partnered with Innova on that, but the EDGE program, the Educational Disc Golf Experience. So the PDGA does have some resources for contacting schools and trying to implement some things there with high schools and elementary schools.
I know Matt Jolly did this about 2.5 years ago. He got disc golf in a school. I cannot remember the name of that school, but they practiced in their
that's right. I remember that.
For they had class on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
And they had a little tournament at the end of it.
Went up to volunteer to help teach them. Yeah, and then for their final or for their grade, they went to Two Rivers and played Two Rivers. And so it's definitely doable, but it does, like Will said, you got to make use of the available resources. And really it's just about selling someone on the vision that you see. You
have to contact the school and the staff and potentially the Board of Education in a professional way. And the difficulty that we have found with communicating disc golf ventures and endeavors with people that are outside of the realm of disc golf is that they just don't understand what it is that we do. So you need to be prepared to explain disc golf in a very fundamental way that is clearly understandable for somebody that has no idea that we don't throw frisbees.
Right.
And so you need to be prepared to do that. You need to line up some resources too. Have some reputable stuff to back you up and presentations, handouts. Spend some time on it. If you're in the Nashville area, reach out to us. And I'm very interested in helping with something like that. I've worked with the Boy Scouts and done some things with them, disc golf related. So yeah, that's definitely something that we need to be doing. So yes, that is a great idea. Let's do it. Take some ownership of it, or find the right people who can and are passionate about it, and get her done.
Yeah. All right, we got one more question. Is from Harper Thompson,
and this is my favorite one.
Yes,
from my favorite person.
This is definitely meant to be a compliment.
Yeah,
but I have not slept in 3 days.
Yeah, I don't think it actually warrants an answer.
This.
Yeah.
But the question is, how could there be any better of a club to ever exist?
There couldn't.
See, that's the short answer.
Yeah.
Right, definitely, there couldn't.
No.
Long answer is,
we're working on it.
Yeah. Tune in next week.
Yeah. See. Ask us again.
There's so many things that we still are trying to do.
I mean, we learn from everything we do, and every year we get a little bit better, and we incorporate new things. I mean, look, now we got a podcast. So next year we're looking at a bunch of cool stuff, like an MCO app, like a bunch of tournaments are doing now, and maybe transitioning.
Which I believe needs to be a Music City disc.
Well, yeah, we right now I think the tentative idea is to work on one for the MCO 2019, and then use that framework to build a Music City disc golf app with everything in it. You can have a scorecard, you can have a news, a discussion, like a forum. Who knows?
Yeah.
But we're constantly trying to make this club better, trying to make everything we do better. And and we're going to continue to do that.
Yeah. Thanks, Harper. It's
love you, Harper.
It's a great question, and it's great. It's great that you're such a big fan of ours.
That's the most rewarding part of what we do. The only rewarding part of what we do is when somebody appreciates it or lets us know that they appreciate it, because we don't make any money off of this. What do they call that? Contrary to popular insinuation. I don't know. People like to. It's a hot topic right now on the disc golf debate page. Is TD's making money? Well, we don't make any. Like, any money that comes in from our events, just FYI, goes back into our other events. But you can see our financial statements at musiccitydiscgolf.com. Segue into that. MusicCityDiscGolf.com is our central hub of information. We keep it as updated as possible. That's
I've been slacking kind of on some of the broad overview updates.
Well, we've been busy too.
But yeah, you can find your points and membership. It's definitely a useful
Bag Tag
place to
Series
go for
points
stuff.
are updated and current on the website.
Let's see. The most recent news on the page is Music City Open schedule. So yeah, we're not that far behind. We need to get it updated for Cane Ridge but yeah.
Cool.
Website.
Yeah, check out the website. Follow us at Music City Disc Golf on Facebook, the group page and the discussion page. And a lot of our information gets passed around on Nashville Disc Golfers on Facebook as well. But yeah, come out to our events.
Yeah, that was all the
Say hi to
questions.
us.
So submit some more. We'll answer them more. I mean, those are pretty good, I thought.
Yeah, I'm going to try and come back again next week. We might not have as long of an episode. We actually went a little longer than we planned to this week.
Yeah, the first 6 were even longer.
Yeah.
The first 6 takes.
Yeah, the first 6.
Were
Yeah,
much
this
longer.
is take 7. Longest take ever.
Yeah.
So that's the podcast, guys. If you have suggestions or questions or anything like that, you can hit up any board member through direct message. Shoot us an email, mcdgclub@gmail.com. Contact information and all sorts of stuff is on the website too. But you know how to get a hold of us.
Yeah.
So, Alan,
Absolutely.
it's been fun.
Yeah, thanks for
Been real. It's been real
for
fun.
having me.
Yeah,
I hope that I made one person laugh, at least.
you made me laugh.
Great.
That counts.
That's all I wanted.
So, all right, guys. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the flip.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye. Last word.
Bye.
Let the bass kick.